So, Coach, if you would, just start us off with a statement or two, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, first I'd like to touch on Think Pink. I think it's really important that we have this game every single year, and I hope it matters. I hope we raise money. I hope we can help, and I hope we honor victims and survivors, and I hope we play it in a way that reflects that. Coastal Carolina is a really good team, man. When I watched them, I was breaking down film. When I was watching them, I was like, this team can't be a two-team win team in the Sun Belt. They're really good. They got athletes across the board. They create a bunch of chaos. I don't know if you guys know this. They call it Coastal Chaos, which it was. And I think he's probably a player away from being really good in that conference. So hats off to them. I thought our bench came through today. The platooning paid off. We had some people in foul trouble, and we just OD switched out there and line changes like hockey. And the bench people really came through. Bland Fitzpatrick was incredible, 10 of 12 from the field, 21 points. And then I thought Layla Harrison gave us a huge injection in the arm. I thought that was big for us. So, they're putting money in the bank. I always say, you build my confidence, you build coaching staff's confidence, you build the confidence of the team, you put money in the bank. They put money in the bank today. No withdrawals. Like, they deposited. So that trust gets built. They get more minutes. They continue to respond. Those go up. I mean, I don't have a problem with playing 10, 12 people. I do think they're capable. I just, a lot of times our starters are, the main focus and finish out games, but our bench did an incredible job.
Questions?
Fred, in the past, you talked about the offensive struggles. Why was everything working so well today, 93?
Well, I think Coastal had something to do with that. I mean, the way that they play and speed you up, and it causes more possessions. And once we got it out of the initial pressure, we were getting some pretty good looks. So we could finish and we could capitalize on that. We turned it over a little bit too much, but I thought we had little surges of turnovers. I don't think we had them, throughout the game. I thought there was. For a large majority of the game, I thought we handled pressure, especially early, got out to a lead. But, I think they just make you play that way. They up the possessions, and you're going to get good looks if you can break the pressure.
I don't know what the number was. There was just a ton of and ones, it felt like. What can you say about just your players' ability to finish at the rim?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about, we turn teams over 20-plus times per game, and then we don't have anything to show for it. We had 35 points off turnovers today, so we got out in transition. We got to the rim. We didn't fade away. We ran through contact, and, we did a good job of finishing at the rim. In particular, like Bland Fitzpatrick. I mean, she's really the focal point of that. She finished at that other end probably more times than about 3 or 4 of them combined.
Coach, obviously you talked about how there was a lot of finishing going on. To start the game, you guys had 5 straight three-pointers. How important is it to start off that game with those threes and have that lead going forward?
Yeah, I think especially when you're facing a team like Coastal that feeds off that energy, when you can keep that energy at bay by scoring on them early, and then the game kind of settles in, it helps your team. I think if we walked out there and we turned it over, 2 out of 3 times, first 3 possessions, I think that's like blood in the water. They're sharks. That's like blood in the water to them. So I'm glad we got some quality shots. I'm glad we broke pressure early.
And then along with that, you talked about how Layla Harrison had 5 steals. Kaya Woods also had 5 steals. I kind of felt like she was all over the place with assists, steals, even a couple buckets. Kind of talk about her advantages as a player.
Yeah, you talking about Kaya in particular? Yeah, Kaya's an energy player. She's an energy player, and once she focuses that energy on doing the right things, like getting out in transition, upping the pressure defensively, like there's not a point guard we've seen where she hasn't affected them with her pressure. So, I think she's a great energy player. I think she's capable. She's capable of big nights. We've got to bring that out of her. And she also has the responsibility of running a team. So there's a balance there that you have to find. So, but I think she's kind of settling into the role, and it helps us.
Coach, Janiyah scored 21 points without attempting a single three-pointer. Can you just speak to her ability to score in the paint today?
Yeah, she got a big Hummer body if she were a car. Like she gets to the rim, that brushes off contact and finishes, and the and ones, and her ability to stretch out and finish at the rim, and the speed to get out in front of people and still catch and finish. I mean, she did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. We probably really struggled to win that game if she hadn't come through like that.
And just talk a little bit about Lauren Gherkin. She also had a big second half. Just what were your thoughts on her performance?
Yeah, again, she's capable. She's capable. The thing about Lauren is she's still gaining confidence, and the more success she has, the more confidence she's going to get, the more she's going to be able to help us. Did you guys know it was Mike's birthday? Happy birthday, Mike Sheehan.
Yesterday. That's in the past. Coach, Paige and Nay, I mean, they play a lot of minutes most games, 39, many games.
Yep.
There was long stretches today, which is kind of a rarity where neither of them were on the floor. I know you have confidence in the rest of the team, but what kind of confidence does that build for the other players? Like, hey, we can get this done. We don't need to put the ball in Paige or Nay's hand every 29 seconds of a possession.
Yeah, Paige and Nay are the security blanket. They help us go to sleep at night. Otherwise, it's a little chaotic and undisciplined and spread out. But it wasn't tonight. It wasn't tonight. I thought we had a presence and a calmness about us. We talked about it in the locker room. PC. I wanted them to just not worry about the pressure, just kind of handle it and let it wash over you, make a good decision, and don't make it about people in front of you, just make it about the people behind them.
Janiyah, new career high. Just kind of talk about what got you to that point. What were you seeing out there on the court today?
It was just energy and reading the defense, as coach always tells us, and being poised and being available. And that's what is so important in this game. When you're best players or your starting five or the go-to players are getting denied, someone has to step up, even coming off the bench. So that was mainly what it is, and just preparation from practice.
Gherkin combined for over half of the points in the second half. Can you kind of talk about what you guys did together as a team?
I think it was just feeding off each other's energy. We all just in practice, one thing coach said is PC, and that's poise and calm, and being able to be that person off the bench and having the energy and reflecting it onto other people, and then they're feeding off. It just feels good. And then also being able to just read each other. And sometimes we had struggled at a few games down the stretch, but once we got comfortable in this game, and I feel like this being happening, going so far throughout the game, we can lead this into the next game. So, and Gert, she's a phenomenal player, and she's always been that phenomenal player. But when we feed off each other and our teammates, it just blossoms.
Janiyah went into halftime with 2 points, finished the game with 21. What do you think helped you surge and really, sort of put on the superhero cape down the stretch in this game?
I say patience. I'm not really a person that just looks for points. It's just I'm a hustle player. I work hard, and when you work hard, you get rewarded every time, and that just goes for anybody. But I just feel like it was really just energy and just focus, having my teammates in my ear and I'm being in their ear, and we're constantly talking to each other in the huddle and being okay, we got to do this and do that, and being having a sisterhood like that, it just makes you feel comfortable just around them, or them around you being comfortable as well.
For sure, and this was a Coastal Carolina team. They had a lot of height, played with a lot of physicality as well. What was the toughest aspect of facing them defensively, do you think?
Like you said, height, the length, but it's just the motto, I think, is just heart over height. If you play hard, you put your shoulder into their chest, it doesn't matter. It's just all comes down to who's tough and wants to battle in the end.
You know, in the fourth quarter especially, a lot of players played today, but in the fourth quarter, you know, coach was running them in and out 4 at a time. So, you know, what's it say, I guess, you know, Coastal kept making runs, but you guys, not just the starters, not just the, you know, everybody on the team kind of contributed to holding them off down the stretch. I mean, I guess what for the future, what kind of positives does that bring that so many people contributed today to a win like this?
I think it brings a lot of confidence. Like I said, like Layla came in and she had 5 steals in 3 minutes. Like, you need those kind of players. You don't just need you need everybody on the team from the starter to the bench. And I feel like that's very important. That just goes to show how ready she was. And that just goes for anybody who came on the floor and like Girk, Taya, all that. And that's just what it is, and like the preparation for practice. And like I want to give a shout out to the coach because they work so hard on scout. And it's like I never been with a team that, you know, go over a scout so hard and quiz each other, and like that's just preparation, and that means you just want it.